Hi, I'm Darlene.
I'm JT.
And today we're going to talk about dodging Hurricane Irma for our Disney vacation.
Straight ahead.
Well, welcome to another edition of Planning Our Vacation. Do it yourself. Reblock, troubleshooting,
Do-over.
do-over, mulligan.
Psych.
If you are watching our last video, we were looking at the radar for Hurricane Irma.
Yeah.
And looking at it looming and heading towards Florida. And so now we know.
Now we know what's going to happen.
It's a big deal. So at the time, we weren't sure. In our last video, we were talking about, we had all these scenarios laid out on the table, figuring out,
Right.
Okay, if this happens, then we can do this. But if that falls through, then we got this option. And it was just a lot of options. And we just ended up rescheduling
Yep.
the whole thing.
So all the way back in episode 2, I believe, in our glamping episode, one of the things we talked about was being able to be flexible. Now, not everybody can do that. Fortunately,
Right.
we could be a little bit flexible this time. So that kind of saved our bacon with regards to getting to Disney World still in the same calendar year.
Right. Because so many people I talked with online that were going the same week that we were are now, they had to reschedule, but they're now going in the spring. Because if you're camping at Fort Wilderness, they are booked solid October, November, December.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing. These people book it out like a year in advance. And so if you're thinking of going next year, you better be booked up right now for your vacation for next year in 2018. And you may not even get a spot at the resort then. This is a popular resort for campers. They love it.
Apparently it's very popular.
Yeah. And that time of year, I guess it was cooler.
Which makes it all the more funnier that we didn't know anything about it. We didn't even know it existed until this whole adventure started. So we were able to be flexible. So in order to do that, I contacted Fort Wilderness. Well, I didn't contact them directly. I went to Disney's reservation site, and I made a reservation for us for the week after we were planning to be there. And the reason I did that was because I kind of thought we might have to change our plans. So the campsite was available at that time, so I went ahead and reserved it. That worked to our benefit this time.
It did.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
well, okay, so it was a timing game, really. This
really
whole
was.
thing was a timing game because everybody was hoping that the hurricane was going to take this jaunt out and stay in the Atlantic, and it did not. And but it's that waiting, that time frame of, is it going to do this and is it going to do that, and what is Disney going to do, and when are they going to make an announcement, because their hurricane cancellation policy is, you don't cancel. I mean, if a hurricane warning happens within 7 days of your arrival, then you could cancel, and they would waive the fees. Right, exactly. And you could reschedule for another day. But that's what we were waiting on, is when are they going to issue that hurricane warning for Florida and in the Orlando area? When is Disney going to make an official statement? The governor declared a state of emergency, which at that time we didn't know. We didn't understand that when the governor issued a state of emergency, then you could go ahead and make a cancellation and Disney would offer a refund. But even then, I was hearing conflicting stories.
Yeah, that was a little muddy.
It's a little muddy in there because it wasn't clearly stated in their policy. Didn't mention anything about a state of emergency or anything. It was just, I'm assuming it would have been at their discretion, Disney's discretion. But we DIY'd our vacation, so most of what we did, any interaction with Disney directly, was just the campground.
Right. And that actually worked to our benefit. this time. We didn't have to reschedule as much.
Yeah.
So there were some downsides to what to our rescheduling. Number one, the person that we were renting the RV from did not have that RV available for the week following when we were going to be there. It was already reserved. So,
yes, his openings were he has 2 campers, and both of them were booked up all the way through the first week of October.
right.
And then there was like a week open, and then he had the next few weeks booked. And so we thought, okay, let's look at maybe that one open week that he has. And that's when we found out that there's nothing available.
Right. There was
at the
nothing
fort.
available at Fort Wilderness for that weekend.
So we're like, well, that shoots him out because, we needed to look for another option.
Right. So, to give you guys a visual, this is what our original camper looked like. It was a 44-foot fifth wheel trailer. Obviously, we'll run through them here really quickly. They are super nice.
This was
this is a nice
this
camper.
was sweet.
Yeah.
Very nice and roomy.
Right.
And
the price could not be beaten on this one. I'm still not going to advertise. The price has changed since we booked our original, right? So he realized that probably should be charging a little bit more, but that's okay. He still is very reasonably priced. I would recommend him, and he was super easy to work with.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So we will work something out with him, and we will find a way to recommend him, so that because I have nothing but good experiences with him so far. We didn't actually stay in his RV yet. All right, so
and hopefully their RVs aren't getting blown away.
Right.
This weekend. So
that was our before what we had. Now this is what our new RV looks like. Still a really nice RV. This one is not quite as large. This one's a 32-foot as opposed to a 44-foot. No decks on this one. That's okay.
Right.
But it does have the modern features, and it has it's a fairly recent model. I think it's a 2016 model. So the guy was super nice when we talked to him. He was very helpful.
He was through Outdoorsy
right.
again.
We went back to Outdoorsy to take care of this, and we did find a couple of
right. We have one lady
RVs available.
Yep.
Yeah.
We had 2 options through Outdoorsy that had availability, and the price was still the same as far as budgeting for our lodging. It still fell in the same price range. So we had maybe a deposit here or a delivery fee there. It was a little bit different, but other than that, it was pretty much the same.
Yeah, it winds up being
price.
about a wash cost-wise, except for with our first reservation, we had a golf cart included. And on this reservation now, we do not have a golf cart. So that's another one of our downsides. If you're watching and you've been to Fort Wilderness, Fort Wilderness is huge. And most people get around Fort Wilderness with golf carts. But it is possible to do without golf carts. And so we're going to find out just how possible that is. And we'll let you know as we're going through it, because there's a whole internal bus system just for Fort Wilderness. And then there's buses that go, of course, everywhere. And there's ferries that go to the Magic Kingdom and all the rest of that. So we were planning to take advantage of those things anyway. But getting from the campsite to the place where we could pick up the bus the golf cart was planned for that. So we'll see how that goes. Another downside. So our cost up just a little bit and without the golf cart.
Yeah. But
cost for the campsite,
considering
same thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Same.
Unchanged.
And that's nice. So, so Fort Wilderness closed on Saturday. Yesterday they closed at 2. They started evacuating everybody, so they want everybody out by 2, and they closed down. And then they're closed today and tomorrow, and then depending on what damage and stuff is, post storm, they'll figure out what to do on Tuesday. And from what I hear from other people who have been there, like last year for Hurricane Matthew, they said that there was, a lot of the camping pads, the sites that you actually park on, were all, they were covered with debris and pine needles and things like that. But from what I hear, all over the place in the parks and the resorts and in this campground, everybody is on the ball. I mean, it's like they know, even though they don't do this often,
Right.
they don't like, for hurricanes. I mean, this is maybe the fourth time they've shut down Disney World. And of course, this was the first time they shut down for 2 days. But from what I understand, everybody is just like boom, boom, boom. And they get that place cleaned up and, get back to normal as soon as they can.
Yeah.
So, the staff is really good, really good about that. So, will they open on Tuesday? Don't know. But that again, we're not checking until the following Saturday. So we gave ourselves the whole week.
Right.
Where some people I've talked to had that were coming the same week that we were, didn't want to push back a whole week. They're trying to see if they can check in on Tuesday or Wednesday to try to, still kind of keep it around the same time.
They will probably have a great week in the parks because the loads are going to be light because everybody canceled their vacations. Mm-hmm. So, a little bit envious in that regard because it's probably going to be wonderful. And short lines everywhere.
Right.
Okay.
Unless they have, unless they lose power or something. But,
Right.
Don't know exactly what's going on there. We've seen some footage from some friends down there in Orlando area, and it seems to be just a lot of high wind. I mean, it looks high wind,
I'm sure
but
rain.
they still have power. Yeah, so high wind and rain. Yeah. Sorry, don't know about any kind of flooding. They're projected to get a lot of rain, so I don't know. I don't know if the campground will flood or not, or if the water will just be high. I don't know. I don't think they're in a flood zone, but so
I
we'll
think
see.
Disney, especially, I know is not in a floodplain. I saw something about that. It was they were showing the floodplains around. So I guess when they built up Disney World, they included. That took them out of the floodplain. Right. Because apparently, well, the part that you walk on is really the second floor.
Oh, and the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah,
definitely.
Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, definitely. That was interesting.
That was very interesting. YouTube certified in Disney World.
and meteorology. So.
Right. Yes.
Of course, I don't watch YouTube for meteorology. I'm a junkie, so I've gotten a lot of extra time on National Hurricane Center and Weather Underground, and there's a guide to watch if you're in the Florida Orlando area. Actually, he's in Tampa Bay, so it's Fox 13, and his name is Paul Delegato, Mr. Anyway, he's really good. He's on the ball. His forecasts have been he doesn't sugarcoat anything. He's been very honest. He doesn't try to hype it, but he also doesn't try to we'll be okay, so. Anyway,
well, that's good.
he's really been very helpful, and just for us to be able to see kind of what's happening with the storm right there in that kind of central Florida area. So, but like JT said, flexibility.
Flexibility is key.
Go ahead.
Sorry, we could have rescheduled to a completely separate time, but our goal was to try to keep it as close to what our original plan was as possible. But had that not worked out, fortunately. The way we bought our park tickets, while it wouldn't have made it easy for us to get a refund on those tickets, we bought them so they don't expire until the end of 2018. So we have plenty of room on that side of things. Mm-hmm. So all we really had to do was concentrate on how do we deal with the campground and how do we deal with the RV. Yep. That was our biggest concerns as far as, and then also making sure that the people that were going to watch our animals would still be able to do it if we moved it back a week. Right. And so,
the blessings, I guess, that we have, we're fortunate in that JT's schedule for work and vacation schedule is very flexible. Yeah. There are some places that where people work where they schedule their vacations around each other, and so if this is your week, you either go on vacation or you just don't, and you have to wait and schedule it around something else,
makes
somebody else.
So much harder. And certainly we're sensitive to that. So obviously our situation would not fit everybody. One size does not fit all here.
Right.
We're just telling you guys kind of what we went through in this past week. I will say this. Disney Travel, when I called them to deal with our reservation. I was on the phone for maybe a half an hour on hold. I heard some people were on hold a lot longer than that, so I'll count myself lucky at a half an hour.
Right.
I talked with Lizbeth, was her name, and within 5 minutes she had me done. I said, I have a reservation already set for the following week. She said, great, we'll cancel this one. We'll be all set. You just go with the other reservation. Done. And here, let me waive the penalty. Choo, done.
Right.
Right. So kudos to Disney for great customer service in the worst of situations.
Yeah.
Certainly, we wish nothing but the best and safety for everybody that's in the area that's impacted by this hurricane. We're glad we're not there with you, but yeah.
Yes, but yeah, I mean, and I mean, it's. I feel guilty for being excited, about going next week. Like we're like, ooh, the excitement is still here for our vacation. We just reset the countdown calendar back a little bit. And we're trying to get excited, but in the meantime, everybody's like, we're boarding up our houses and sandbags, and and I'm like, oh, sorry.
We're recording this on Sunday the 10th, which is the first day of full park closing for Disney World. So it's also a season of firsts, right? This is the first time ever Disney has closed Disney World for 2 consecutive days for a hurricane. It's the first time ever that 2 back-to-back large storms have hit the United States mainland within a month of each other. So, in a season of firsts, and it's our first time going to Disney World. So, thankfully we were able to easily reschedule to just a week. But I mean, worst case scenario, you reschedule it to the next time that you can go. As long as you have those options. Thankfully we did,
Right.
When it happens to be something in your personal life that changes things, it's not always that easy. But, there we are. Hurricane Irma, get on out of here.
Hopefully, she just is not going far enough away. So she's, So anyway, we're when we're talking about rescheduling a vacation and something that you've planned, there's a lot more work involved. We have it's JT's friend from college, but she's a Disney travel person. I don't know what they're called. She does everything. She'll make your trip to plan your trip to the parks or cruise line, that kind of thing. So she does all of that. And she had managed, when in the midst of all of these clients that she has on cruise lines and in parks, she managed to squeeze in a little message to us. She's like, hey, I remembered you were going to Disney World. Did you know? Blah, blah, blah,
Right.
and I'm like, oh, thanks. And I said, we already rescheduled our vacation.
She checked up on us, though, and that was wonderful. And she didn't have to.
Yeah, she's just like, I remembered you said you were going, because she was going to be in Disney World or Magic Kingdom on the same day, and we were talking about the Mickey's Halloween party and being there on the same night. And then when she started doing all this, she remembered and said, did you guys do this? And she was ready to help. And when I told her, I said, well, we already, rescheduled. And she's like, good for you. My work is done here. Boom.
Moving on.
She moving on.
And actually, since you mentioned her, and there's also been another planner that's here local to us that has also been very interested in what's going on. So that's Laura. The first is Laura. The second one is Gail. If I can find their information, I'll put it in the show notes for this episode. So if you need a vacation travel planner to help you with your Disney vacation, they will help you. Yeah,
they've been very good because they do what I do with clients when I for weddings. I get with them and it's like, did you think about this? And what about that? Did you know this? Did you think about that? Yeah. And it was great because you're like, oh yeah, okay. And there are a couple things we were able to actually get on our itinerary for the following week that we weren't able to get on for this week. The pirate tutorial.
Pirate tutorial. I'm looking forward to that.
That's gonna be fun. And but we did lose you lose all your fast passes.
We had to
and
redo all of our
reservations.
fast
You have to
passes,
redo all of
and
that.
that was not good. But I will say this: people have said check often, keep checking back. We had lost our Navi River Journey Fast Pass. That was our only Pandora Fast Pass that we had got the first time, and we lost it because we changed and it wasn't available. Well, while I was going in looking for stuff, it popped up when we were just happened to be doing it. Went from one screen to the next, and there it was, and I snagged it as soon as it came up. So it's very true. People's plans change, and as they change, fast passes will become available again, and you can go ahead and grab them. So don't lose heart. It's still possible. We got almost everything that we had before. Almost
Different times, though.
Different times.
Yeah, so we had to
our
readjust.
plans changed a little bit, but that's okay. That's all good. We're going to have a good time regardless of what time of day we do it. So.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the biggest tip I think we both have for when it comes down to like your plans change and you have to, reschedule, is just go with the flow.
Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. It's all about Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. It's my screensaver now on my phone.
Yeah. So in fact, I have a Hakuna Matata shirt I'm going to wear to Disney World. Hakuna Matata.
That was a little divine intervention or divine thinking, forward thinking, whatever. Yeah. So just I would say also that don't try to force the vacation to happen as well. There are some people that we talked with online who are going camping and this same time frame, and they were trying to figure out if maybe they should come in earlier. That way they would already be there. And then they could relocate them to a resort room, which is what they do. If you're at the campground and you have to be evacuated, they'll put you in a resort room, and then you park your trailer in the lot. And then I guess when the campground opens up again, you can go back and camp. And if you don't mind moving back and forth, I guess that's okay. It's how you would ride out the storm. But there was just so much confusion with this particular storm, this hurricane, the unknown we've always talked about. There's a whole lot of unknowns there. And if you can't extend your vacation and then you have to like miss those 3 days, then you only get 3 days on the end. And it seems just a couple people I talked to, they were just trying to squeeze that in there. Like it's gotta be this week. And I know it was because of vacation time at their job, and annual passes was the other thing. One lady had annual passes and they expired on the 19th. And so she was this was the week she was going, the final days, and she was trying to cram it all in. And at that point, I would just say, if you probably already got your money's worth from your annual pass, I would think, I would hope. Yeah. And you know what? Just cancel it. Take your refund, which she would have gotten. Yeah. Take your refund and you've got your own camper. Just go somewhere else.
Go for the weekend.
Go somewhere else. If you look at the whole state right now, under the radar, the whole state is all covered in green. Yeah. Rain and all that stuff. It's just like, just go somewhere else. But I'm not in her family, and I don't know, just how important this was, but sometimes this is your once in a lifetime vacation, and others it's annual vacations, and so what's really important, in the long run, is the vacation and time with your family important, or is it, getting to Disney World important? I mean, that's just something you need to consider. I would just say, just don't, when you're looking at losing half of your vacation because of a hurricane and you really don't know what it's going to be like on the outside of it. Yeah. Don't try to force it. Anyway, that's from my heart. Just don't try to force it. You can
reschedule a vacation. You can't get your life back.
Right.
Just in an age when common sense is going away, use some common sense, and go from there.
Yeah.
So, what about you guys? So, were you planning to go to Disney this week and you had to change your plans, or did this affect your plan somehow? I know a lot of you watching go to Disney fairly frequently. So, and even some of you are planning to go when we're going. So leave us a note in the comments. We'd love to hear back from your experiences and kind of what you experienced. If you have anything that you heard that we maybe missed, we'd like to hear that too. Go ahead and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe, tick the bell so you know when we're going live or when you know, or when we post a new video. And
follow us on Instagram and Twitter at 5 Rookies DIY. So until next time, stay tuned because we're getting down now. We're 6 days and we're getting down to the wire, and we'll have some more videos and more happy, magical videos are on the way.
Magical.
So less stressful ones and more happy ones are on the way. So.
No more pressure. Now we're going to have a good time.
Yeah, man.
All right. Until next time.
All right. Bye.